Good, beautiful. Now, having a cup of ceremonial cacao. Good, beautiful moment. Just made a cacao, ceremonial cacao, and I wanted to hop on here to share that tomorrow is the full moon. It's coming. The full moon in Capricorn. Hello, darlings. I'd like to take a few seconds to just welcome you all, because this is going to be a conversation about power, authentic, dynamic power that is here for us to access from the depths of our soul. Because without power, it's like trying to drive without an engine, right? And the more we come in the right relationship with our power, the more we become a masterful creators of our reality. So welcome to my kitchen. It's a little gloomy today. Let me know in the comments where you're joining from and what drew you to this topic. So full moon will arrive tomorrow at exactly this time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. So if you are in Europe, you are already in the future and you're already experiencing the full moon. Oh, California is here. Yes, my neighbor. Welcome, welcome. So I am passionately and intentional about these lunar cycles. It's a very ancient way to navigate through reality. Before the Gregorian calendar was invented by an emperor, right? People were following the natural symbols, such as the full moon, the new moon, the 4 cosmic events that we have. We just had the summer solstice, right? Germany, yes. So we have 4 key major portals in a year, and I so look forward to them, darling. Every month we have 2 major portals, and then every year we have 4. So we just had summer solstice, which is celebration of the light within us, without. And then next portal is going to be in September, fall equinox, which is the harvest of our lives, right? And then December solstice, and then spring equinox. So those are kind of like the 4 gateways in the year. And then each month we have the full moon and the new moon. And to me, it's such a blessing to learn to attune our consciousness to these lunar energies, since our body is 99% water and the moon affects the tides of the ocean. We are absolutely 100% affected by the shift of the moon. And from the ancient times in shamanic tradition, the full moon considered to be the peak of cosmic power that we can attune to and align to. And there's usually 2 things that we do on the full moon. We appreciate what is at the fullness in our life, right? Hi, darlings. Good to be with you. I'm having my cacao moment. On the full moon, we appreciate and we come to the place of gratitude, because when we come to the place of gratitude, we come to coherence with our own heart. And when we are in coherence with our own heart, we are in the most harmonious frequency to set our intentions, whether it's intentions to release, and I'm going to speak about exactly what I'm releasing this full moon, and if it inspires you, join me in releasing these very specific patterns that stand in the way of us rising in our true, authentic, dynamic power the power of our soul, right? So every full moon, I go inside my heart, I connect to my heart, and I journal, and I say, okay, this is another opportunity to shed some things. And what I am becoming aware that it's time to shed, and I write them down. And then, beloveds, I also pay attention, well, what is the sign that this full moon is in? Because we're moving through the 12 signs of the zodiac throughout the year, and each sign has a particular vibration, particular characteristics. So this is a sign of Capricorn. If you know and you have any Capricorns in your life, my brother is a Capricorn. I have quite a lot of Capricorns around me. But tomorrow we're going to feel that Capricorn energy. And Capricorn is a sign of the earth, right? And there is, of course, the low vibrational aspect of Capricorn, which is traditionally known as workaholic and achiever by all cost, right? I remember myself in that expression, absolutely. And then the higher vibration, like an awakened Capricorn energy, is this determined, focused energy that inspires to persevere and to move forward and to take steps. And actually, the highest expression of Capricorn energy is service to the community, service to the world, and that determination to build a very strong structures in our life that support us, that nourish us. So whenever the Capricorn full moon comes, I inquire, well, what are the structures in my life and in my business that don't feel nourishing anymore, right? Which structures that I am ready to let go and to burn down and to bury, metaphorically speaking, right? So, and then also, since it's an earth sign, it's all about the routine and habits. So it's a really great time to inquire, well, what are the habits and daily routines that support me? And what are the habits that I am becoming aware that do not support me, but actually drop my vibration and diminish my power and diminish my sense of perseverance? So it's a very illuminating conversation to have with ourselves, right? And then the power of releasing on the full moon, once you see what you decide to release, and once you make an intentional choice to do that, your reality changes like this. And that's something that people don't realize, the power of the intention, the power of thought that moves faster than the speed of light. It's one thing to say, I release this, I release that, and then just continue to live from the place of unawareness, right? And not moving differently into reality. And another level, truly enter this portal from the place of reverence, knowing that you have this support. It's almost like when the full moon is at its fullness, the energy that was building entire month is available to you to harness, to fuse your consciousness, to engage with the power of nature, just like in the ancient times, right, beloveds? I see my friend Raj has joined. Good to see you. So in the ancient times, people would gather in the woods or in the valleys, in the treetops or hilltops, and they would use the power of shamanic drumming to enter altered state of consciousness, right? With shamanic drumming, with songs, with dances, so they could experience the divinity of nature. And when we experience divinity of nature, then working with the moon is the most incredible experience that we can have. Good, beautiful now, beloveds. How are you? I see more people has joined. I'm in my kitchen, clearly, having a cacao, just having conversation with you. I'm ready I'm ready for the sun to come out. It's the middle of the summer, and I just really held intention this summer to play a lot. And my form of play is anything to do with water. So I go to the beach twice a day. But this year, my intention is to actually swim in it. And I just felt the cold, something about going into the water and cleansing your energy field with these energies of the salt and the ocean and the ions, right? Really powerful. So that's what I've been doing. And if you just joined, I gave like this big talk about the power of the Capricorn moon tomorrow. And I'm not an astrologer. I am a passionate lover of astrology. Astrology and alchemy are two metaphysical sciences that I geek out the most. Because alchemy is the art of transformation, right? Taking one thing and transforming into a higher essence of it. And astrology is the art of navigation, right? That we have this 12 signs, 12 expressions of cosmic energy that we experience every year. And every month we give an opportunity to experience a different quality. So Capricorn full moon is tomorrow. So let's talk about power. Hi everyone, so good to be with you. Let's talk about power and the difference between the power of the mind, or the power of the soul, the power of the body, and then the power of congruent integrated living. Yeah, Haley, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. It's always so fun to do these spontaneous Instagram lives. I go back and forth between a Facebook live, YouTube live, and Instagram live. Yes, soon I'm gonna be on LinkedIn. Hi Anastasia, hi from Germany. So if you're in Germany, you are ahead of us. You already have the full moon and you are celebrating on this. I'd like to introduce this idea, beloveds, that we live in a very incredible times. And even though I had thoughts in the past that you may experience too, a thought was like, I am so done with this earth plane. For sure, this is my last lifetime on this planet. Now I just smile at those thoughts because, it was just a phase that I was in. And the deeper I come to seeing this life clearly, the more I realize what a unique opportunity it is to be alive right now. And if we are here, it's because we were literally standing in line to win this sacred opportunity to be present on this planet right now during the time of the most accelerated change, where we see how fast our thoughts can turn into reality, how fast our inner state can reflect on the outer reality. It's just dizzying sometimes, the power of acceleration of consciousness. And the question of power comes into importance, because if in the past, we come out of the whole generation of gurus and teachers and people outside of us letting us borrow their power, right? That was a very necessary chapter for humanity. And the chapter that we're living right now is the chapter of this incredible opportunity of learning to awaken the divine blueprint within us and learning to turn on the channels, the gates, the connections between our cells, and to really bring the fullness of our DNA online, to awaken the sleeping archetypes within us. This is why so many people resonate with the gene keys, right? Or with the human design, or with, all these different modalities that simply a tool. Eventually we're going to transcend the gene keys, transcend the human design. Maybe some of you are already done with it. It's just the way in. It's just the way in to guide us back to a realization of our true power. And our relationship with our power is a reflection of our leadership, of our relationship with money, our boundaries, our relationship with order or structure in our life. It all comes back to how at ease I am with the current of level of power that I'm allowing myself to access, or how not at ease I am with the current, with a bigger level of power. Right? I like to think of power as a neutral energy. Just like money, just like finances. It's a neutral energy. It's what we do with it that makes it either of service to the higher ideal, to the will of the whole, right? To the higher good, or to the lower nature, to the lower desires, to the way of control and domination and abuse. From my perspective, power is a neutral energy. And with this full moon in Capricorn, the question arises, what would it look like for you, for me, for us, to give us a radical permission to access new levels of power? And with that comes a decision to leave something behind, to leave someone behind, to leave a particular way of being behind, because not everybody will cheer you when you rise to the next level of power. Absolutely not. And the moment comes where you say, you know what? I am done. I am complete. I am complete of holding myself back because I am uncomfortable with other people's envy. Let's talk about envy. You know who gave me this incredible reframe, loves? Gosh. What's her name? Glenn Doyle? The woman who wrote Untamed, the book Untamed. If you haven't read it, pick it up. You can finish it in 2 days. It's very easy to read, maybe in 4. When I read, loves, if I read a good book, I just dissolve into a book. And then I re-emerge and I say, oh, hi everyone, I am back. I was in the book portal for 2 days. Maybe you are similar. So let's talk about envy. If you just joined and you're like, what are you guys talking about? Guys and gals and beings who don't identify with any gender, human beings, souls, right? We're talking about power and accessing authentic dynamic power within so we could serve, that we can create our dream reality, and what is important to leave behind. And when I think about one of the obstacles that we may unconsciously hold ourselves back, and it's fear of other people's envy. Definitely know this one so intimately. And Glennon, her name is Glennon, who wrote the Untamed book, said, whenever we feel the energy of envy, translate it simply this is what I get to do next. This is my next leap. This is my next level of expansion. She says envy is a normal human emotion. Sometimes it just comes over you. And when it comes to envying somebody's expansion or success or prosperity, right? If we dare to admit it, it's simply a sign this is where I get to step into next. Whether it's this is the model for me of living unapologetically, embracing my true power, embracing my brilliance, creating from my full potential. Yeah. Beautiful, right? It's so simple. But I also notice, loves, that a lot of times it's challenging to admit that we feel envy. It's much easier to separate and project and judge the person. Right? And that's okay. You know, I used to just have such a hard time with a very judgmental mind. Very quick to assess, put people into boxes, you know, have an opinion about them, who they are, just simply by just a snap assessment. And I carried a lot of shame around that. You know, I was like, oh my God, I can't like break through this judgmental mind. And the Tibetan teachings gave me liberation, because judgment was actually helping me to realize every time I choose separation versus unity, consciousness. Every time judgment arises, my frequency drops to separation. So instead of feeling shame about having judgmental thoughts, I begin to simply note, oh, judgment, okay. Thank you so much, judgmental thought. You just told me that I'm about to drop my vibration. I release you, I appreciate, okay, what do I desire to feel? What do I desire to focus? This is how I learned to work and to actually cleanse my mind, whether it's guilt or shame or judgment or worry or an anxiety. You become kind of a curious detective of what's buzzing through your mental space. And then you learn to notice them, acknowledge them, and drop it like a hot potato. Just like, thank you very much. I notice you. I see you. You're just a thought that's passing through my mental space. I'm going to let you go. And then you develop this incredible capacity to witness your thoughts without judgment and not identify with them, right? Just as a thought. It's like a cloud that's passing by. So where I would like to go here. Hi, Andrea. Hi. How are you? Opening the heart. You know, another level of power, beloveds, is the power of our heart. That's a true spiritual power. Wow. That is such a deep power when we are able to make our decisions through the heart, to have our conversations through the heart, to let people feel our undefended heart, right? Wow, that's a power. And what I see is happening in the collective right now is so many people are at the crossroads, at the choice points, at the massive realizations. There's a lot of restructuring that is happening. People are becoming more and more aware that we're all sensitive, that we're all energetic beings, that we all can be psychic, right? That we can all become most powerful, magnetic, loving, divine version of ourselves. And people are realizing the power of the heart. The power of the heart as the great attractor, as the great transformer, as the great illuminator, I would say. So when I speak about power, there's many levels and many expressions of power, right? And I find the first layers is when we develop the power of our mind. As everything begins with a thought. Everything. So there's a huge stage in our process of self-empowerment to learn discernment, to see through a gazillion amount of information that is available to us online. Such a blessing of current times and a unique challenge. Because so much of that information is confusing and misleading and a total garbage. Right? And an ability of our mind to discern what is useful and what is just a giant noise. What is helpful and what is distracting. And the way I discern, beloveds, from what I read, what I watch, who I listen to, my number one discernment is this information encouraging me to trust my own wisdom, my own power, my own inner guidance? Or is this information consciously or subconsciously invites me to trust something outside of myself? And ultimately, the way I see it, everyone around us can be a teacher if we can learn from them, if we can be humble and attentive enough to learn. But the highest teacher has always been within. And the name for the highest teacher is our heart. And it's not the emotional space, it's this center of intelligence, kind of like our own version of a galactic center within. It's this center of intelligence that connects us with all other expressions of ourselves. They're also called past lives or parallel lives, right? It's the place where we source our healing, where we meet our true self. And what often gets us to awakening the heart is the dark night of the soul, is loss, is depression, is an anxiety, all of these feeling of psychologically unwell. They serve one purpose: to have us turn within and meet our inner self. And I know there's a lot of incredible people here who are my peers. Loves, if you are my fellow teacher, if you are a coach, a mentor, my fellow teacher who shares the message online, there has never been a more important time to encourage people access the power of their hearts, the power of their intuition, the power of their discernment. And this is how we encourage people to embrace their own sovereignty. Instead of constantly giving people food, right? You teach them how to become creative in their own reality. You inspire that level of vision and faith and devotion and determination, right? I see spirituality now. That's my ally, Yvonne de la Flor. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yvonne, I'm having a cacao waiting for you to come visit me when it's time. The power of the heart, beloveds. That's where we and then there's the power of surrender. Right? It's a very mystical stage in our life where we realize, whoa, things are happening with so much ease if I simply learn to get out of the way. If I simply learn how to get out of the way and actually seek divine guidance from the moment I wake up, instead of bulldozing through my day, having my own agenda. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. This used to be my life, beloveds. You know, the good chunks of my life experience, I only lived on the level of the mind and not awakened mind. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to be in the body. I had huge resistance towards this earth plane. I connected to my galactic self, but I really did not enjoy being here. So of course that led to all kind of addictions and numbing and just checking out of this reality, using any excuse to just say, you know what, I'm uncomfortable being here. I have the right to check out of this reality. This was a really big chapter of my life. And then what I've realized, every time I would check out of the reality through numbing or through distractions or through addictions, I would turn off my own joy and everything would become gray. And I knew if I'm on this planet, I have to make a choice. I either learn how to be in the body, I learn to embrace this human experience. I'm gonna ask for my purpose, I'm gonna find my purpose. I'm not gonna stop asking until it shows to me. And you know what, beautiful, it was a process for me to learn to be in the body. And then when I decided to drop the archetype of an addict and embrace presence one moment at a time, you know, it was like celebrating every moment of clarity. Oh, I'm clear right now. Whoa, we're making our step. Okay, I am present right now, right? So it was a process to actually enter my body instead of just hanging out on the mental plane. And then there was a process of opening the heart. And for me, the process of opening the heart was with visionary plans. And I talk about it not all the time, very rarely, because I don't believe this is the path for everyone. And it's an accelerated path because from ancient times, people would seek guidance of the plant spirits. Whether you work with cacao, like right now I'm drinking cacao, ceremonial cacao, that is a very beautiful medicine where you work with kambo, more strong medicine. I know Aluna is here, where you work with psilocybin or you work with stronger plants. It's a very specific path. But for me, I had so much trauma in the childhood that I had two choices. Either spend 20 years in psychotherapy or keep reliving the stories of my parents. You know, growing up with 5 stepdads and alcoholism and violence and just chaos, total chaos. And that impacts you really deeply. And what I also found that a lot of light workers, people who carry a big mission in the world, they often have a similar story. They often have very turbulent childhoods that it takes a lot of years for them to heal. But once they heal and transform it, they open up their capacity to alchemize anything into light. They're not afraid of the pain. And the formula that I received in the recent journey was so powerful, loves. I spoke about it briefly, but the formula to the most incredible transformation of our life was given me in this way: pain, power, purpose. Right? So pain, power, purpose. And this entire transmission, I shared about different levels of power that we can access, dynamic, authentic, right? The power of the heart, the power of the body, the power of the mind, the power of the vision. But there is no way we can unlock our power if we avoid transmuting our pain. It's just we're fooling ourselves, right? So it's this incredible journey of alchemy, of learning to sit with yourself and to inquire about every layer of your consciousness and to say, what else that is difficult for me to accept? What else is difficult for me to remember? What else is difficult for me to heal? And you don't even need to seek it hard enough, because life will give you karmic experiences to show you when things are not healed, right? They just keep coming until we sit down or lay down or take the time to look within and transform pain into power. And ultimately, it all leads us to our purpose. And our purpose is truly to be ourselves, the most authentic, congruent version of ourselves, who is not afraid to step into the fullness of our power. Hi, loves. Hello. This is me, Katerina Satora, in my kitchen drinking cacao. We're talking about power because tomorrow is the full moon in Capricorn. By the way, if you are curious, I am wearing a very special necklace that was given to me by my friend Diva, who I've met online. And this is a moonstone, and this is called Mandragora, a very sacred root that she personally harvested and cultivated and sent me all the way from Crete. So amazing. So I'm really grateful for your presence during this, just impromptu transmission. I'd like to share with you what I'm currently releasing that I'm realizing was standing in the way of my own power. And I'm sharing this so maybe it inspire contemplation, a journaling contemplation for you, and also a way of declaration to the universe. So the very big pattern that I have been really untangling for a while, loves, is the pattern of proving myself. And it comes on in such a subtle ways. And my intention for tomorrow's full moon is to bury that pattern into the ground. And to realize I have nothing to prove. And I offer the same for you. We have been conditioned to get into this pattern of proving ourselves. Maybe especially if you are in the public space of leadership and thought leadership, and it's such a trap. It's a trap, right? Because no matter how much you will try to prove yourself and come out of your skin to prove your benevolence, you cannot avoid the fact that a certain group of people will misunderstand what you are saying or what you are attempting to do, misread your vibration, or they're simply not ready for your message. They're simply not ready, or you're not for them. And that is absolutely okay. There is a little book that I have. It's so little. You can read it in an hour. That is called "I Am Not for Everybody, Neither Are You." And I believe the person who wrote it was an acting coach. And that book was so refreshing for me to read. This mental trap of thinking that we have to be accepted by everyone, right? And we gotta come out of our skin to be liked. As a child of alcoholic parents, with a lot of codependency in my family system, people pleasing was the way that I've learned to survive. And with people pleasing comes a high price that's called your authenticity, where there's this inner censoring that is happening within you, where you're constantly checking, oh my goodness, if I reveal this part of you, what's gonna happen? You're gonna unfollow me? And then you're gonna write a post about me that you unfollowed me? Oh my God, right? Or if I truly share what I think, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have to deal with all these comments. Oh my God, let me just pull back and don't even worry about it. What is your version of censoring yourself? Because that is a very limiting pattern, right? It's one thing of being discerning, right? And intentional about our communication. That's one aspect, that is wisdom. But I'm talking about, loves, this unknowing censoring voice. And that's the pattern that I'm bearing, the pattern of proving myself. Tired of it. What I'm realizing our vibration speaks volume about who we are. Volume. So our soul group, as I lovingly call our soul cluster, recognizes us, recognizes you, recognizes me, literally from within minutes, as a sense of familiarity, as a sense of, oh, I recognize you from somewhere. I resonate with you, right? So it's a question of resonance. When you are on a similar vibration with someone, you are in resonance. And when you are not in a similar vibration with somebody, you are not in resonance, right? So it's a matter of resonance. And when you are in resonance with your soul group, you can be your most authentic version of you. And it's so beautiful. And it's so needed right now, right? It's so needed. What is the most authentic version of you? So that's what I am. Does this resonate with you, loves? Let me know in the comments. Do you have a pattern of proving yourself? Do you have a pattern that says you need to earn? What I was trying to say. You know, you gotta prove that what you know is, like, you gotta prove that you are qualified, that what you know is, you know, and that you are a good person, or whatever the story is. Imagine letting go, and imagine allowing yourself to receive the fullness of you, of your soul. That your soul is here to be and to express and to delight and to joyfully dance with creation without proving anything. So that's a big pattern. And I also release this old pattern of fear of speaking what's really on my mind. Trust me, that's a big one. That's a big one. And for me, it's been a gradual process, loves. It's been a gradual process of allowing the transmission that wants to come through to channel, right, in service of the collective. And knowing that some of the ideas, some of the thoughts that come through the transmission will absolutely feel so out there, again, for some people. But for the people from my soul group, what I have found, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's a confirmation of their own journey. And the more I'm willing to speak what's really on my mind without filtering or censoring or trying to prove, the more I can be an archetype of a messenger, simply deliver the message, right? So simply deliver the message that's coming through you. And for those who it's meant to be, you will often hear, oh my goodness, the timing is impeccable. Right? The timing is impeccable. Thank you so much for sharing that message. I also released all salvationistic beliefs out of my system. And what I mean by that? It's connected to the rescue archetype, or this low vibrational sense of obligation to share your light because people need you. I choose to anchor myself, and if this supports you, I encourage you to try it on, to feel into it, right? I choose to anchor myself in this clear seeing that every person that is on this planet has a higher self that is guiding them with so much precision and orchestrating everything in their life. The dark night of the soul that is designed to move them into inner exploration. Their awakening. There's actually going to be a series of triggers for their consciousness to start looking within and start questioning the paradigm, right? And every person has this unique and consistent guidance, right? So then this temptation of seeing yourself as, as somebody here to save the planet or save humanity. I come to realization that's not my burden to carry. Even if I wanted to save the planet or to save humanity, let's just humble up. That is not the script, right? The realization that I'm coming into is come into harmony as best as you can in each moment. Come into attunement to the quantum field that is everywhere around you and begin to listen to how you can be useful at the time of the greatest transformation on the planet. Powerful, right? Powerful, beloveds. It is not our fault that we are so conditioned with these messianic beliefs. We have generations of organized religion that programmed humanity with the myth of the Messiah and salvation and the victim story. It has been programmed in us, right? And we are standing on this threshold of a new reality where we realize, oh my goodness, we have been designed to be a sovereign beings who can master our focus, our attention, who can see this as a live planet, that we are organs of Gaia. We are sensory organs through which Gaia Sophia is experiencing itself. So our only assignment is to follow our joy, to come into harmony with the quantum field, learn to hear the voice of nature again. Yes, yes. Just feel the ease of that. Feel of laying down the burden that is not even yours to carry. And then your service to Gaia, your service to the planet comes from a very authentic place of innocence. And it's unique to you. It's unique to your dharma. It's unique to your life's myth. I was going to say script, but try this on, that we are mythically, we are on the journey. Archetypally, we are on the journey. Each one of us is co-writing a story of this incarnation. Each one of us. So we're co-writing with the quantum field. We came here to learn the agreements of these realities, right? We learned how does this life work? What are the universal laws? And progressively we're awakening to a more clear seeing that what is here for us to realize is simply how to come to harmony with the moment. Because it's only the moment. Entire incarnation is one eternal moment. And the grace of our divine human existence, that every moment comes fully equipped with everything you will require to meet the moment. Isn't it so incredible? How do we lose our power? We lose our power by leaving the moment and projecting the anxiety, the fear, the worry into reality that doesn't even exist, right, beloveds? And I also wanted to really validate a very real phenomena, that we are impacted by collective frequencies. So if the collective mind is going through an anxiety, worry, uncertainty about the future, you as energetic, sensitive, psychic being, going to experience, you're going to feel the ripple, right? But that is why the process of mastering our focus, mastering our ability to discern, this is collective. Collective is my bigger body. I understand that. And I am still a sovereign soul who can decide to come back to the moment, come back to my power. Right? That is the process. That is the process. That is the process. And I do not hold the belief that we need to suffer for the collective or carry the collective. At times, the more mature our consciousness becomes and the more we are anchored in the truth and the connection with our higher self may give us that assignment to become an alchemist on the collective level, right? But that is a very individual process. If we each simply devote ourselves to become masterful at coming into harmony with the moment, imagine the transformation we can do for the collective, with the collective, together. So, just on fire today. Yes, beloveds. I think I covered quite a bit about power. What is it I'm releasing? Tomorrow is the full moon in Capricorn. So, Capricorn is the earth sign. So if, for example, you desire to find the plot of beautiful ground underneath your feet, so you anchor your feet into the earth. When I ground, and that's another really sacred practice that we each can become devoted to on a daily basis. You know, when I ground, I imagine that at the bottom of my feet, at the soles of my feet, there are these eyes, and they open, and I see through the core of the earth with my feet chakras, and I begin this very sensual connection with the earth. The earth's energy is sensual, it's orgasmic, it's alive, it's Gaia is mother to us, right? We incarnate, every time I talk to a Divine Mother who is the cosmic being, right? Divine Mother, the way that I see Divine Mother is the cosmic being that is in everything, right? So my cosmology, my philosophy, my personal experience is rooted in this understanding that we live in the universe that is weaved together by the fabric of love, and everything we see, the visible universe has been birthed by one cosmic spirit, and that one cosmic spirit is such a benevolent being that not only chose to birth this incredible cosmos, but to join the cosmos in experiencing itself by embedding itself in everything that exists. So invisible became visible. So when I say Divine Mother, I refer to that intelligent field that is so mysterious, that is so alive, that is here guiding us, that is envisioned your soul into existence. And why it's referred as a mother, well, because mothers give birth, mothers give life. I've never seen a father give birth. Have you seen a father give birth? I've never seen one. And from the quantum field studies, and from the beginning of the birth of life on this planet has happened in the ocean. And the ocean was primordially a female environment in which male is born, right? And on the level of biology, we all start as a female fetus. And I don't remember exactly, so if you have if you remember those facts better, beloveds, but I think it's like day 10 or day 10 or so, there's the chromosomes begin to change and the female fetus becomes a male, right? So I find it's really fascinating that life begins as a female. So Divine Mother is this cosmic being that is such a benevolent, such a loving and mysterious and powerful and wise. And she envisioned your soul into existence. And her body, one of her bodies, is our planet. So we're literally walking on the planet of, we're walking on the physical expression of Divine Mother. Whew. And of course, this was a very sacred knowledge that was transferred verbally by the spiritual leaders of ancient tribes. You know, I was always fascinated. Well, what are the people who were very, very at the beginning of our civilizations? Well, we had five types of species on this planet, right? They were all wiped out by the cataclysm, and I am talking about Lemuria and Atlantis and earlier Pangaea, right? We don't have any recorded historical records, of course, because the Library of Alexandria have been destroyed, and we lost over how many thousands and hundreds of thousands of manuscripts, and we lost this ancient knowledge of our civilization and civilizations that lived before us. But I really loved researching and say, okay, well, what are the early people truly believed, and who did they see sacred? And they all saw Earth as sacred, as a conscious being, as a divine entity. So the moment we lost the connection of seeing nature as the divine, we lost our way, right, beloveds? And when I think about Lemurians were civilizations that were before the Atlantis. The reason why they were so powerful and they were able to manifest that will through their thoughts, through their feelings, is because they had that relationship with nature that was fully divine, right? And they would call to the spirit of the wind, and the wind would come, right? They would call to the spirit of the rain, and the rain would come at their invitation. I'm not going to use the term command. At their invitation, these elemental beings would come. So if we go into native Indian tradition, right, or Indian tradition from South America, or Peru, we can still find those incredible healers and teachers, spiritual leaders who live and preserve those ways, but it's so rare. It's so rare. It's so rare. And that's another level of power, right? A power of communication with nature in a way that you call the strength of nature to give you courage to move forward in your life. Hi, This was Joanna. Joanna, hi. She says, thank you. Always right on time for me. I'm so grateful to just allow the transmission to take over my body mind vehicle, and just it flows in service to you, in service to our beloved planet. I am so grateful to be alive right now. I smile at my silly thoughts in the past, how I wanted to get off this planet, and I look down on human incarnation to be 100% authentic with you, because I didn't see the beauty of it. I didn't see the magic of coming into the present, healing your psychic, healing your heart, opening your heart, and then realizing there is this great adventure ahead of me, that everywhere you see there is support, there is magic, and the unknown becomes your friend. And the only thing that we get to remember is that when we come into the presence, we only find presence. They're only gifts. They're only gifts that are being offered to us. Even the gifts that look like challenges come to us to help us remember who we are and to help us unlock our true power, right? So I shared with you what is it I'm releasing all these old patterns of trying to prove myself, all salvation, all the thoughts of, obligation of service, or thoughts that people need my light, and fear of speaking what's really on my mind, and I'm bearing that pattern, and the old discomfort of criticism or being misunderstood. I'm finally I made a decision to just be complete with that topic. I'm so at peace that criticism is the path of living a brave life. Living a life that is authentic, that is in integrity, that is bold and courageous. It's a life that has criticism as a part of the equation. People will be talking about your back. People will be misunderstanding you. People will be weaving all kind of projections, but these are not your people. Your soul fractal and your soul cluster will recognize you through your frequency, through your vibration, through your heart, through your consistency, through your love, through your authenticity. So trust that you will find your people the more and more and more you allow yourself to really be seen as your true authentic self. But when we hide and when we show only a part of ourselves that we think will be accepted, we continue to not find our fractal soul, fractal line, right? I'm speaking from experience, beloveds. I'm speaking from experience. Gosh. The people-pleasing tendencies don't die that easy. But the more you see that behavior does not serve you, the easier it will be for you to catch it and to stop it and to just bury it into the ground as, thank you so much for helping me survive when I was a child, where pleasing adults was the only way I could survive. I'm an adult now, right? And I trust myself, and I trust my power, and I trust that I am here to be me. And so are you. So in this Capricorn energy, I have no idea for how long I've been here for like 40 minutes with you, loves. Yeah, I really hope the sun will come out so I can go swim. It's been really nice. I lived in a different town of Laguna Beach for 5 years, where there's a lot of cliffs. It's like beautiful coves, but it was really challenging for me to swim because you just go straight into the deep water. And I moved to a lovely town called San Clemente. It's a beautiful jewel. I treasure every single day that I'm here. It's a mystery how long I'm going to be here. It's always a mystery for all of us. But every day I'm like, I'm so grateful to be here. And the beach is very different. The beach is flat, and you can walk quite far before you reach the depth. And I've been swimming 3 times already this year. It's such a big victory for me because I don't really like cold water, and Pacific Ocean is not a tropical. So for my international community, my friends from Germany and Spain and Italy, a lot of times when people think about California, they think it's tropical. It's very lovely weather, but the ocean is not that warm. But it heats up in the middle of the summer. And this is my version of the ice bath. So, beloveds, it's been so soulful for me to spend this time with you. I really hope that what I shared ignited something in you, ignited for you to embrace your power. Without power, it's like having no engine in the car. And power is a natural energy, neutral and natural energy. It's what we use it for, makes all the difference. And I hope my share inspired you to be okay with people's envy, because it will come. And just know that when people envy you, it's not your job to worry about it and to shrink yourself so the envy doesn't come. Your opportunity is to say, if you envy me, it's simply a sign that you're not claiming a part of you that you envy in me. That's it. So envy is a sign that that's where you get to step up. So hold loving space for criticism when it comes, because it will come. And just say to yourself, everything is a medicine, everything is a gift, everything is a part of my training. And in order for all of us to weave the life that feels like art, the question of coming into the fullness of our power is a very important conversation to have. Not a question, but a conversation, right? And that's what I spoke about for the last 40 minutes. So if you just joined, beloveds, this live stream will be here in 2 minutes. I feel complete, and I'm really, really grateful to share this with you and to encourage you to remember who you are, and that you're not here to save the planet. You're not here to save anybody. I mean, if that is still a belief that you resonate with this, of course you can keep it. I came to a very liberating realization that I'm not here to save the planet, to save others. This very interesting idea of a saver and a victim, right? And a hero and a rescuer. And I shared my perspective that we are here to learn how to come into the harmony with each moment, and to come into harmony with this intelligent quantum field all around us that will guide, inform, nourish, protect, and support every single one of us in our own unique way. And then our life begins to move in this beautiful, sustainable, harmonious rhythm, right? So that has been the message, the big piece. And I will share with you a book that has been really revolutionary. It's very hard to find copies of it because you will not see the world in the same way if you read that book. And it's about Gnostics' writings. The book is called Not in His Image. Not in His Image. It's about Gnostics' writings that have been discovered in probably like 70 years ago in the cave of Egypt, because Library of Alexandria was burned down by the rebels and by actually Christians, by the mob of Christians who killed the greatest philosopher of our lifetime, Hypatia. If you want to know the story, you get to watch the movie called Agora. And she was from Egypt, and she was an outspoken, well, she was a luminary of her time, a brilliant astronomer, philosopher, speaker, and she was in charge of the Library of Alexandria. Well, when the conversion to Christianity by force was happening, because it was a political decision to unify the countries. It was a strictly political decision. They burned the library, and all the manuscripts of the luminaries of their times went down, and then they killed the philosopher Hypatia in a very brutal death in the middle of the public square. So the book, Not in His Image, begins with sharing that the death of Hypatia symbolizes the death of the age of the mysteries and the beginning of the age of control. The age of religion, the dark chapter of religion of our history's past is the chapter of control and domination, and women becoming treated as property, and sexuality has becoming, all this twisted story about what it is. It was the age of control, right? And then was the age of reason, and now we are coming into the age of self-empowerment, and our ability to discern, our ability to create with our reality. This is why I always say, beloveds, this is the most sovereign lifetime so many of us have ever lived, because I would not be surprised that so many of us lived in the ancient Egypt and during the time of acquisition and all of that. So this is the lifetime where we are encouraged to rise in our power. And it has never been, and I understand, I live in the United States, and comes a lot of privilege with having so much safety and so many opportunities. I fully acknowledge that. And I also earned the right to be here as an immigrant who came here with absolutely nothing, because I knew this country would help me open up my wings, right? The bigger the opportunities we have, the bigger is responsibility to unlock our potential. So we inspire others to do the same. And that is a very fulfilling feeling, right? It's such a fulfilling feeling to find your gift and then to give it away. So the book, don't read it if you don't want to look at the world in a new way. Don't read it, okay? If you're attached to the way you see the world, that's not the book for you. I'm totally teasing you. But yeah, the book called Not in His Image, and it's about Gnostic writings. And it's about the writings that have been discovered about, truly that introduces Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, divine mother, and take what resonates. Take what resonates and see what impacts you. But it talks about initiates and mystery schools, and how in the mystery schools of ancient times they would work with visionary plans. Visionary plans were the intermediaries between the divine light and the initiate, right? Okay, I can go on and on and on about this, but for now, I just want to say thank you so much for spending this cacao time with me. It was deeply fulfilling for my heart to share these ideas and encouragement, and believe in your ability to channel more of your soul power. That is my final message. And whatever level you're at, what if you are just scratching the surface of your soul power? And if you let go of the patterns that I named, right? And you give yourself this radical permission to channel a much bigger power of your soul, what would your life would look like? On that, I'm going to leave you with this question to contemplate. Be blessed.